welcome to the final episode in this mini-series that I've done at the start of FIFA 21. If you've missed the previous ones, we've been looking at the cheap, best value players in the game. We started with the defenders on Friday. Yesterday, Saturday, was the midfielders, and the final episode is looking at the attackers. This series has been all about looking at the best value, cheap, meta players in the game right now, ranging anywhere from maybe 1,000 coins all the way up to about 80,000, I think would be the peak that we've gone at. And we've looked at them all and said why I think they're worth it. Because I understand 80,000 isn't too cheap at the beginning, but I've tried to give you guys a good range of players so you can start with some worse players and build up. And also, different people have different budgets at the moment. If you've enjoyed this series, please let me know in the comments. Please comment with videos you want to see me do. I've been getting different messages on Twitter, in my streams, so I've got lots of exciting videos coming up next week. Tomorrow I'm going to be looking at the controller settings. There's been some new ones I've added this year, so I'm going to go through my control settings, what I'm using, camera settings, all that. I'll be looking at how chemistry works. I'll be doing my first tactic video. Lots of stuff I'm going to be doing, but guys, please let me know in the comments what you're struggling with, what you want to learn, what you want me to help you with. This channel is dedicated to you, helping you guys improve. I appreciate the support a lot on the videos the last few days. It's been really good. I'm really excited for this FIFA. If you like this content, please subscribe. It really does mean a lot. Anyway, we'll get into it. La Liga is the first one we're starting with. What I will say for this video as well is there's been quite a few less options, I've noticed. In the attack, there's not as many good options as there maybe was in midfield and defence. I think this is probably because the attack requires a little bit more. The meta's a little bit more strict in the attacking position. The Premier League has quite a few options when we get to that, but the other leagues struggled a little bit. This guy though, Alexander Isak, starting off, he's 6'4", got good work rates. For the striker, those are really nice. Great skill moves, insane weak foot. He's only 21, this guy, and only just turned 21. In real life, this guy meets his potential. He could be one of the best strikers on FIFA for the next few years, the next 10 years even. He's quick. At this point in the game, that's pretty quick. His finishing's pretty solid, especially when you take into account the weak foot. He's not bad on the ball for someone who's 6'4", and his strength's pretty good. He cost 1,000, 2,000 coins, absolute bargain. Vinicius Jr., out wide, one of the fastest players in the game, a great dribbler. His shooting and passing leaves a bit to be desired, so I'd be putting a dead eye on him. 5-star, 4-star, he's going to be an absolute bargain. Easy to link in being Real Madrid and Brazil. This video doesn't include left mid and right mids as in players who start at that. I put them in the midfielder one. So there might be a few attacking options you think are missing out simply because they're in the midfielder one. Inaki Williams, the weak foot hurts him. Don't get me wrong. But he's so quick, good at finishing, and physically one of the best players in the game. Especially at this price range. Like for attackers when you take out the icons. So he's really good value. He's pretty hard to get. He seems to be extinct a lot of the time. But for the first month or two, Williams will be really good for you. And he's got really nice trait of outside foot shot. João Felix, let me check. I think he's extinct at the moment at like 17k. Yeah. So I've packed him a couple of times and he sells straight away at 17k. If you can snipe him and get him at that, I think he's pretty good value. 5-star, 4-star is really nice. I think he's more of a cam than a striker. The outside the foot shot trait's nice. What I would say of him is if he price range goes up and he goes to like 25-30k, I'm starting to get a little bit not quite as good value. 17k though, if you can snipe him and fit him in, it'll be a really good cam. Ousmane Dembele, let's check his price at the moment. At the moment, he's going for like 70k. He is worth it. He's got 5-star, 5-star. There's hardly any players in the game. Off the top of my head, the players who have that, Neymar, R9, Cruyff, and I'm not sure if there's anyone else. There probably is going to be a few that I've missed out. But the fact that I know the player base, as in all the different cards, really well, there's hardly anyone in the game who has that. There'll probably be a few players who aren't that good on the game who have it as well, but like it's so rare and it's such a great combination. He's insanely quick. His dribbling's great. His passing's not too bad considering the rest of the card. Put a dead eye on him to put his shooting and passing up, and you've got a really good meta card at this point of the game. Barcelona and French, easy to link in as well. Iago Aspas, some people might see him and be like, why are you picking him? I feel like he had 3-star weak foot last year. So giving him the 4-star weak foot has helped him a lot. He has the shooting traits we want. His finishing is very high at this point of the game. I think if you put a Hunter on him, he'd be a pretty good striker. If you put a Deadeye on him, he's a very good cam. He's actually pretty good at dribbling with that agility and dribbling. Very good card and not very expensive either. So La Liga has some very good options for cheap attackers that you can build around. Okay, we're looking at the Bundesliga now. The Bundesliga is so disappointing when it comes to strikers. In terms of midfield and defence, the Bundesliga had some insane options, like arguably the best value midfield and defence for like cheap players. But in the attack, we've got 4 players. The problem is you drop from like the players that I'll show you here, and then it just goes to Haaland and then Lewandowski, and that's it really. There's not a lot of quality at the higher level in Bundesliga attack. Players like Royce, Sancho obviously out wide are pretty good, but they're not really good value at this point in the game. Royce arguably is at 70 to 80k, but yeah, I'm not sure about it. Bundesliga, it weren't very good. HWANG Chan, I think that's how you pronounce it. 4-star weak foot, one of the quickest players in the game. That agility will make him fairly good on the ball. He's got okay passing for someone who's not very high rated. I'd put Deadeye on him to up his passing and shooting, or maybe even a sniper. But in general, I think it is a decent card. At the start of the game, that pace alone is going to be pretty useful and will help you a lot. Cordoba, bit of a different striker. The 3-star. It's not desirable, and he's not the quickest, but his shooting's not bad, and he's physically insane. Like, there's not many players in the game with that good physicals at this point. It says it's 87, but for me it feels a bit better than that because the stamina's brought it down. As striker, you don't really notice stamina too much. Embolo, 4-star weak foot, decent height, decent in the air, good strength, very quick. Be a bit clunky on the ball, but he's got okay shooting. For like these cards are like 1,000-2,000 coins, they're going to do you really well. And then Rashika, he is one of the best attackers in this video, to be honest. At 4-star, really quick. The shooting's pretty well rounded, very good on the ball with 90 agility, 85 dribbling. He's one of the best players in this video, I think, for value. But unfortunately, Bundesliga just didn't have a lot of options. Maybe when we get some special cards, we'll start to see some more. But there's just such a gap between the cheap meta players in this league and the top ones in terms of the attackers. Okay, the French league, normally one of the better leagues when it comes to the cheaper end meta players. Cornet's lost his 5-star weak foot, 4-star weak foot, 3-star skill. He's still decent. Like those physical stats for a low end card with decent pace, it's not bad. He's okay on the ball. He's got really solid shooting. He's actually got decent defending. Like, hear me out here. This might sound a bit silly, but he might actually be a really good cheap midfielder at this point. His defending and physicals aren't the best, but with that pace and the ability to attack, if you pair him next to a decent CDM, his defensive one, at the start of the game, it'd probably be worth trying on him. Baldy Diao, he's been very good value for a few years. Solid on the ball, good strength, rapid, okay finisher, and he's 4-star. For 1,000 coins, he's very solid at the beginning. Jonathan David, now this guy's really good. 3-star skills ain't the best, but the 5-star weak foot with good strength, decent on the ball, 81 finishing, compared to a lot of players in this video, is pretty solid at this point in the game, and he's got pretty decent pace. He's like 1,000 coins. Benedetto, just all round solid. The 3-star skills ain't great, obviously, a bit like David, but he's got good work rates. The 5-star weak foot's nice. He's got good all round physicals. The 90 jumpings will win some headers. He's decent on the ball for someone who's got good stats across the board. And those shooting stats for a 5-star weak foot are really nice. Moussa Dembele, 3-star hurts him. There's not many players as cheap as him though. Okay pace with that physical and high finishing. Again, it's frustrating. One of the reasons I tell people to, when they put their coins into players, put it into the defenders, is because you can get some of the best valued defenders in the game for not too great a deal of coins. But the attackers, it's just frustrating. They rip off to get some of the best value ones. Tovan, not the best weak foot, but he's very good across the board. For a winger, those physical stats are okay. And then his passing, shooting, pace driven, they're all just really nice at this point. At this point of the game, I would play him at cam. He's not quick enough to probably go out wide. And yes, the weak foot's an issue, but when you're on a really low budget, he's a decent cam at this point of the game. Okay, we get into Serie A and the Prem now. Serie A and the Prem actually has had some really good players in it. There's probably as many players in Serie A or the Prem who I think are decent meta attackers as the other leagues combined. Rebic, 4-star, 4-star, good physicals, very quick, one of the best players on this list. His dribbling isn't too bad for someone who's this good physically. Good shot power, okay finishing. Osimhen, 4-star weak foot, pretty quick, decent finishing, good physical. Muriel is very good on the ball for someone that quick with decent finishing. 4-star, 4-star. He's been a bit of a cheat beast for a few years. So already we've had 3 players who are really solid. Correa, probably more of a cam, but 4-star, 4-star is pretty nice. Good on the ball, like 84 agility with 88. Dribbling's really nice. Shooting leaves a little bit to be desired. That's why I'd probably put him at cam, but he's decent pace. Lozano out wide will be amazing. He's probably best at a lamb position or right mid in the 4-4-2, but he looks pretty solid. I'm not sure if he'd be good enough at cam or striker based on his weak foot and not the best technical stats, but out wide I think he'll be a beast. You have things where 93 pace makes him one of the fastest players in the game. Belotti, we've had a few of these, 3-star, 5-star, weak foot though. Very high finishing. That 88 finishing, if you put a Hunter on him, I think Hunter gives 10 finishing this year. Ups his pace and gives him elite finishing. Bit clunky, but with that weak foot finishing and physical stats makes him very good value. Morata, I don't love Morata on the game, but 4-star weak foot and then he's just an okay card across the board, makes him decent. This guy, let's check what his price is going at the moment. It's a team of the week. I think he was really cheap when I looked. Yeah, like 17k, 15k there. And you can get him on bid quite cheap. At this point of the game, 4-star weak foot. He's got great work rates, very high movement finishing. He's quick, good on the ball, decent strength. His passing's a bit of an issue, but you can get away with that as striker. He'll be very cheap early on and has the finesse shot trait. Lautaro Martinez, he was very good last year. The 4-star, 4-star. Early on, this card will be a beast. Very good physical stats. And he's probably the best player in this list in terms of a combination of his pace, dribbling and physical. There's not many players like him on the game, especially at this end. Normally to get this good a combination of stats, you have to go for some of the top icons. If he gets a few informs, Martinez will be insane on the game, just like he was last year. But as a start player, he's very good. And then Immobile, you might be thinking, why is an 87 on this list? Well, look at his price on the market. Not gold team of the week. 50 grand. Not cheap, but when you look at his stats, 4-star weak foot, okay pace, like Ben Yedder has 84 pace, so that's pretty decent. 93 finishing and movement is some of the best in the game. There's hardly anyone in the game with those stats. He's got the shot power too. He's not as immobile as his name, like his dribbling's not bad. 83 dribbling, good composure, solid physical stats. As a starter striker, Immobile is going to be really good at the beginning of the game. And I think a lot of people will look past him because he's not been great on previous FIFAs. But to lead the line early on, I think he'll do a good job. Start off with Mikel Antonio. He has the skill moves, but not the weak foot. But early on, for around 10,000 coins, he is a very decent option to start you off in the Premier League. Not the best shooting, but it's okay. Very decent pace when you combine it with that physical, and okay on the ball. Premier League, you're going to have to pay a premium. The Premier League always costs more than the other leagues because it's the most popular one. But at the start, he's a decent card. Ollie Watkins from Villa swaps it with Antonio as the 4-star weak foot instead. Decent pace. I think he's been done a bit of dirty on his physical, to be honest, but he's similar to Antonio's card, but not quite as good physically. So Antonio's probably a bit better, but then you have the weak foot on Watkins. Origi, the 4-star, 4-star combination's pretty nice, but he just lacks some of the technical stats to be really, really good. Adama Traore, early on, out wide, this guy will terrorise teams. I don't think there's a quicker gold card in the game. I think Mbappe's got 96, whereas Adama's got 97. Early on, I'm going to be using Adama as an impact sub. I think he'll terrorise teams. He's got really good dribbling as well. Like that 85 agility, 88 balance, 92 dribbling's brilliant. He's got really good strength. He's quite a unique player on the game. He can't shoot. He can't pass that good. But he will beat a man, especially as an impact sub. I might do a video dedicated to impact subs, but early on I think this Adama is going to be great. Diego Jota, the 5-star weak foot, 4-star skills is nice. Great links to Liverpool players. Decent pace. As a cam or a striker early on, this guy's going to be great. I wouldn't be putting him out wide because he lacks the sprint speed. But if you stick a dead eye on him at cam, he becomes a really good player. He's got great dribbling. And he also has really good physical stats, which for someone with his dribbling, pace, 5-star weak foot is really nice. Richarlison, this boy's not cheap. But early on, if you've got a few 100k, if you go for like him and Allen, they get a triple link at Everton. And the 4-star, 5-star combo, when you look across the board at his stats, it's really nice. Richarlison will play really good early on, I think. Rodrigo, he's currently extinct at 18k. He doesn't have the weak foot, but he's got decent shooting, very good pace, good on the ball, okay physical stats for someone that quick, and he's Spanish. If you can snipe him at 18k, he will be a bargain. He's someone I think could rise to 30k. I've got 5 of him in my club waiting for EA to up his price range. I say that to you not because I'm trying to up his price range with this video, just that's the reason I'm holding him, because I think he's that good. And in the Prem to have that much pace, it's going to up his price. Willian, more of a cam with the 4-star, 4-star, not being the quickest. He's a good dribbler still. He's got better technical stats than quite a few players on this list. Again, you're not getting elite players at this price range, but he's a decent option early on. Lacazette, I don't know why he's this slow. Surely he's not about as good physically as his pace, but the 4-star, 4-star early on, he's probably more of a cam because of his lack of pace. But he's a decent option early on. The outside the foot shot trait's nice. And then, is he the last one in the video? Yeah. Raul Jimenez, 4-star weak foot. Heading seems decent this year. And him being 6'3" with okay jumping, good heading means he'll be a good target man. He's good physically to hold it up to. He's got okay pace. The shooting's really good. And he's not going to be very expensive. I think Jimenez to lead the line at the start will be a pretty good option that will help a lot of people's teams. Boys, really hope you've enjoyed this video. As always, I really do appreciate the support you guys show. Thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow we'll be doing controller settings. I'll be going live after the Aston Villa Liverpool game tonight to start playing a bit more draft. I'll get to test the game, players out a bit more. Please tune in. Thank you for watching. Keep it spicy.